Hey guys, we're here in the ballerina gym at Dance Health. I'm Dr. C, and we are going to be going over back stretches today. Now, before we start on our back stretches, I want to say that a lot of dancers ask me for back stretches in order to prove, can you guess it? Their arabesque. And I find this funny because dancers most of the time don't need stretches to improve their arabesque. They need exercises. So the way that you can tell this is if you lay down on your stomach and you press up into a cobra using your hands, do you have the mobility to do an arabesque? If you have the mobility, you just need the strength, in which case this video may not be for you, and you can go find somewhere around this video where my back exercises video is. Okay, when I finish it, I will link it around this video. But if you are just looking for a video to stretch your back out after class to get those muscles loosened up, this video is for you to follow along. I love a good back stretch. I do my back stretches all the time. Now make sure that if you're doing this, you're not using it in substitute of physical therapy. If you have a back injury or if you have back pain, diagnosed or undiagnosed, please make sure you go see a dance practitioner to be sure that you don't have anything more serious going on, okay? Because some injuries require certain movements like forward or backward or sideways and not other ways, right? So make sure you know what you're doing. You're not just doing this for yourself at home to self-diagnose, okay? But this video will be for those of you who just kind of have some tight muscles after ballet class and want some good ways to loosen up their spine. Welcome, let's jump into it. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do today is my favorite back stretch. It's called the open book stretch. Now, all physical therapists know this one really well. This is like a textbook physical therapy stretch, okay? So what we're gonna do is lay down, and we're gonna do both sides today, but if you have one side tighter than the other, then you can focus on just one if you'd like. So we're gonna lay on our side, and we're going to go into a turned in passe position and let your knee drop down to the ground, okay? Stack your hands out in front of you and relax your head. We're gonna open the top arm like a rainbow. Whee! Open it as far as you can while still keeping the knee on the ground, and rotate your head. Head follows the hand, okay? So we're getting a good twist all the way through our spine. Now, this is the point where dancers are like, I don't really feel it, because a lot of you dancers out there are bendy, twisty. So if you're not feeling this yet, what you can do to get more of an intense stretch is to put your whole shin down on the ground. So knee to foot. And you can also kind of walk the shin out away from you further in space so that your hip is moving in the direction of where your knee is. Yeah, so you're trying to get this push through the hip and then rotate. And this is normally where dancers are like, okay, I'm starting to feel it. Yeah. Now we're going to move through these ranges here. Once you find the position that you like, you're just going to open close like a sea anemone or like SpongeBob. Photosynthesis. If you're a 90s baby like me, you know what I'm talking about. Photosynthesis. Okay, open, close. And I like to add a nice breath in here. So we're breathing in, expand the rib cage. And breathe out, exhale, close. Nice and slow, all right? It's not a race. I want you to go slow and notice where you're feeling the stretch, which vertebrae you feel it on, and notice if you're relaxing the muscles or not. Notice if it's getting looser with each rotation. This sometimes will feel kind of achy, painful on the first few, and then as you continue, it really starts to loosen up. So I always say try about 10 of these, and then if you feel looser at the end, you know it was right for you. Okay? All right, good job. So let's bring it back to the center. Give your back a little break here. And we'll try the other side. Rolling onto your side, you can pick your happy position, whether you want your knee turned in passe or retiré rather, or if you'd like your whole shin down, you can try leg out, whatever you like. Okay, and we're gonna open, close, twisting the whole spine, reaching, turning the head, and close, adding in the breath, breathing in as you open and out as you close. Good. This should feel relaxing. Should feel good. Now, you can do this stretch and just hang out in the twisted position if you'd like. But I like to kind of spend time opening, closing, because then you are mobilizing the joint and not just stretching the spine. Joints respond well to kind of repetitive motions here, okay? Especially the circular motions, the gentle rocking, open, closing motions. Okay. All right, let's bring it back to the center and shake it out. All right, next up we're gonna do knees to chest. So I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to just hug both knees in and we're gonna rock around. Now I know this one's really simple and you might not feel much, but it's a good way to open up the lower spine after a long day of dance and just decompress and massage your sacrum. I know a lot of people in the dance world complain about their sacroiliac joint hurting, so you can rock side to side on the SI joint. And just pay attention to how your spine feels today. It's not going to be the same every day in most cases, so just pay attention to where you need a little extra attention today. Rocking side to side, circles, figure 8, forward, back, whatever feels good for you. And I like doing this one with my dancers, especially because in dance, especially in ballet, we do a lot of arabesques, right? Our legs are really up high behind us. We're arching our back in what we call extension, and repetitive extension can really become aggravating to our little vertebral joints. So flexing up the opposite way is just so nice to your spine. You're gonna be nice to your spine. Thank you, spine, for all the dancing that you do for us. Okay, let's do one leg down and the other leg up. This is gonna open up the hip flexor a little bit. Whether or not you feel it, you are elongating that hip just a bit. So give it a shake. And let's switch. Give it a shake. Okay, now if you don't have knee problems, you can do this next one with me. This one opens up the hip flexors, so it's a good psoas stretch and it's also a good quad stretch. And you might feel it in one place versus the other based on where you're tight. Okay, so like I said, if your knees don't hurt with this one, you can do this. You're gonna tuck one foot back behind you into the quad stretch. The other leg opens up to the side, so you're like in a stag leap position, and we're breathing into it. Now you might feel it on the top of your quad. You might even feel it into the inside of the hip and the abdominals, because this is where your psoas runs. Yeah. So wherever you feel it, as long as it feels like a tolerable stretch, you're just going to take some deep breaths and relax into it. You're probably wondering, like, why are we stretching our quads if this is a back stretching video? And this is because um, our hip flexors, our psoas namely, attaches to all 5 of our lumbar vertebrae, which are those bottom vertebrae, those bottom bones in our lower back. So when these guys do a lot of like battements and stuff, they can get tight after class, and it's good to open them up. Okay, let's switch and do the other side. Now, doing hip flexor stretches has become quite taboo in the dance physical therapy world. And this is because people try to do hip flexor stretches to reduce hip flexor pain. And that's a different story, really. So, stretching your hip flexors out is useful when you are done with class and you're done, contracting that muscle and you want to just bring it back to its neutral position. It's not to overcome hip flexor tendonitis. Yeah, there are other things you want to do for hip flexor tendonitis. If you have hip flexor pain, we're going to want to be doing hip exercises that lengthen the hip flexor, okay? And realign the hip flexor fibers, not just stretching, yeah? Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, bring those legs back in and give them a shake. Very good. All right, let's do legs side to side, dropping the knees to the right and dropping the knees to the left. This is really just kind of like a feel good one here. Just relaxed, opening the back. So every time your knees drop to the right, you're opening your left side of your lower back. Every time they drop to the left, you're opening the right side. Okay. All right, coming on up, let's stretch our quadratus lumborum. So the way we do the quadratus lumborum stretch is the mermaid stretch, which I love. Okay, so the quadratus lumborum is like deep in the side of your back, and so many people have tight QLs. This is the muscle that raises the hip, side bends the body, it goes from the hip to the ribs and touches all those lumbar vertebrae as well. So you're going to tuck your feet to the side, again, if this doesn't bother your knees, and then we're going to cambre toward the feet, okay? This opens up the QL. And let's actually rotate. You'll get more of a QL stretch if you rotate allonge and twist up toward the ceiling. Good, and back down, and come out of that very slowly. Good, you don't want to get a QL cramp on the other side. Flip your mermaid tail around. Whee, that's my favorite thing to say. All right, and then let's go to the other side. Cambre. You're like a mermaid on a rock. What color is your mermaid? Any of you little baby ballerina teachers? No. Know the joke. What color is your butterfly today? And stretch up to the ceiling, allonge. Get that QL. So I'm feeling it like, on the side here. That's kind of where you want to feel it. And over. Good. And come on up. Very nice. Let's stretch out our upper back now. Our upper back can get tight, and we like to twist it as well to get it to stretch out. So we're going to come onto hands and knees. We're going to do what's called thread the needle. So you're going to take one hand, slide it between your hand and leg like this, and then just reach as far as you can. Stretch it out. If that's too easy for you, you can go up on your elbow and press this hand down into the bottom hand to help yourself twist a little bit more. You can also kind of do like a yoga type thing and bring this arm around, grab your bottom leg underneath and twist. Good. And then push yourself back up. Good job. Let's do the other direction now. So you're going to slide the arm through. Relax your head down. And if you want more of a stretch, you can use your hand to twist or bring this arm around and twist. It feels so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, from here, this is a good one to just do the child's pose. I know you guys know this one. So we're just going to lay down. You don't feel too much of a stretch on this one most of the time, but it is just opening your back and tractioning your back. Now let's walk our hands to the right and stretch that left side. Oh, that feels good. And walk your hands to the left and stretch the right side. Oh, that feels so good. Good. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is stretch our hips out. There are a lot of different ways to stretch our hips, but since we're being mindful of our spine, let's do it laying down. That way our spine is supported. We're going to lay down. Your glutes are very much like BFFs with your back, or maybe more like frenemies, because whenever your back is tight, your butt gets tight. And I'm telling you this from many years of experience as a PT. Everyone with back pain has some sort of knots in their butt, in their glutes, I should say, or in their piriformis. So you're going to cross one leg over. We're going to do the classic figure 4 stretch. You can push your knee away, or if that is too easy, you can grab the bottom leg and pull it up toward you. using your elbow to push this knee away from you, you get a deeper stretch. And you can rock around here, you can just hold it, whatever feels good. Opening the glutes, the gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius and minimus. Who knew you had so many glutes? Did you know you have 6 glutes? 3 on each side. Okay, good. Other side, switcheroo, cross the leg over, test it out. If that's too easy, you can pull this leg up toward you. Stretchy, stretchy. Nice, relaxing breaths. If you let your mind wander elsewhere or you rush through your stretches, they're not going to be as effective. You want to drop into your body and be really mindful about how your muscle is feeling and whether it's letting go or not. Good. That should feel good. Okay, we'll just do a quick hamstring stretch because tight hamstrings can pull on the bottom of the pelvis, and that affects the position of the spine. So just bringing that leg up as high as you can, pull it in, whatever a comfortable position is for you, and just hold for a little bit. Stretching the hammies. Good, and other side. All right, so I will say I normally have my yoga ball down here, but it's up in my therapy space. So I will just tell you that normally I like to do a little bit of traction for my lower back after my back stretches. So if you have a yoga ball, when you're done with this, you can put your tummy on the ball and just flop over the ball and just have your head and your feet hanging off the ball. So you're really just folded over it and just hanging out. Yeah. And that'll help stretch your back out too. So you can try that as well. So much talking. I hope you learned something from these videos. All right, good job. Okay, roll to your side and push yourself up. And let's come to standing and just notice how our back is feeling. Hopefully you feel a little bit more loosey-goosey. You feel a little bit more balance through the spine. And I hope this helps you loosen up after a long day of dancing or standing or whatever the world has thrown at you today. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.